Have you ever felt like you already know what to do? You've read the books, listened to the podcast, watched the videos, you get clarity, you get inspired, and yet your life is still the same. And it's not because you're lazy, you're definitely working harder than most people you know. So what is it? Why does it feel like you're growing, you're learning, but yet your life hasn't really shifted? Is it that you need more ideas? More tactics, more strategies? Probably not, right? After working with thousands of people, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 3 decades on self-help, I started noticing a pattern. Self-help works until it doesn't. Self-help is built on information, motivation, strategies, and it works. I wouldn't be here without it, but that's the limitation. It works, but it only works to a point. I've been to many of these self-help events and I see thousands of people there. Everyone all hyped up, excited, and by day 3, they super pumped, they are on fire, they feel invincible, they feel like they can climb any mountains out there, like their whole life is about to change. And in that moment, it feels real. Maybe for you, it wasn't events. It was a podcast, it was a book, an idea that gave you so much clarity. You feel inspired, but then something happens. You go home, someone says something to you, you get triggered, you're back into frustration, disappointment. And just like that, you're back in judgment, back in blame, back in disappointment. It happens all so fast. And that's the moment most people miss. They think they need more of that feeling. Give me more of that juice where that came from. The problem isn't that you don't know enough. It's that nothing is holding that change in place. It's not a lack of information. It's a lack of integration and the condition that makes that integration happen. That's why 90 to 95% of people, a year after the event, their life hasn't really changed. Self-help can create powerful moments, but without something to hold it, it just doesn't stick. This is where a different approach comes in. It's called self-mastery. Self-mastery isn't about getting more information. It's creating a way of living where change becomes part of who you are. Self-help gives you the ideas. Self-mastery is where it's fully embodied. Self-help gives you ideas, insights. Self-mastery is where you practice those insights, reinforce it, and integrate until it sticks. Self-help changes how you think for a moment. Self-mastery changes how you live permanently. And once you start to see this clearly, you start to realize it was never about the lack of information. It was never about the lack of effort. It's the pieces that are missing to create the lasting change. Think about this. If someone wants to get fit, they don't just watch a few videos and maybe attend a boot camp and expect to be fit for life. We already understand this. The people that get results, they have structure, they have support, something that holds them onto this. The stronger support is, the stronger the results. And this is what self-mastery is. It's not just one thing. There are 5 pillars that makes change inevitable. Pillar number 1 is awareness. Most of the change self-help gives you is intellectual. You understand it, but you don't live it. You don't embody it. 80% of the change happens from the neck down onwards, where you connect with your heart emotionally and to your gut. Your head, heart, and your gut all aligned. This is what embodied change is, where you start to gain a level of unconscious competence. It's like riding a bike. You don't even need to think about it anymore. But if you try to think about how to ride a bike, you may get it, but you need to practice and practice until you get it below your head level. Most high performers, they already know the patterns. They know what triggers them. They know when they react. They know when they shut down. They know when they go into control or withdrawal. But it is in the heat of the moment when the pressure hits, the awareness is not there. The awareness is not there to bring out the knowledge that they've gained from the book, from the podcast, from the events. And that's the problem. After the argument, after the reaction, you can see it now. Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. But by then, the damage has already been done. I say this not because I'm better than you, because I went through this path myself. I spent decades learning from personal development and self-help to better myself. And I remember when my loved ones speak to me a certain way, I react without realizing I had all these tools that I can use to change my ways, to change my state, to change my perspective until the damage has been done. Self-help will teach you that you need to better yourself, but it doesn't teach you how to bring awareness to that moment that it matters the most. Because in the moment, you can truly see what's driving you. You're no longer just reacting to life, you're creating it. And you move from being the effect of your circumstances to now you being the creator of your circumstances. And that's why the best athletes or the best entrepreneur, they all have coaches. Not because the coaches are better than them, but the coach can see the situation from a different viewpoint. They can see the blind spots. They can bring awareness to when they cannot. And if you can't see it, if you don't have awareness of it, you can't change what you don't know. So that's why without awareness, creating lasting change is impossible. And this leads to the second pillar, the container. Because awareness alone cannot make the change. So what if you're aware of your patterns? But if nothing holds you to it, everything falls back. Think about the Shaolin monks. They don't rely on motivation. They live within a system. Daily ritual, clear system, clear practice every single day. Be it carrying water, chopping wood, sweeping the floor, doing their practice. There's a system. There's a coach. There's a master. There's peers. There's a group that you do it together with. Everything in the environment is designed for growth. Change isn't something they try to do. It becomes inevitable within the container. But here's the reality. In today's busy world, we're not living in a monastery. We've got businesses, we've got family, we've got so many commitments, right? So the question isn't, do I need a container? The question is, what container am I in right now? Because whether you realize it or not, you are already in a container. Your current environment, your routines, your standards, that's your container. And if your container is not conducive to the change that you want, it will always pull you back to who you always have been. Think about something simple as getting fit. You don't just get fit by watching a YouTube video and going to the gym when you feel motivated only. The people who actually transform, they have system, they have standards that holds them to it. And the stronger the container, the less reliant it is on your willpower, and the stronger the result is going to be. And that is why without a container, awareness fades, insights disappear. You go back to the same patterns as you were before. The third pillar is proximity. You probably heard this one before. You are the 5 people you spend the most time with. And it's true. And it's not what most people think. It's not just standards or habits. It's the identity. What feels normal to you. What people around you tolerate, you start to tolerate. What they accept, you start to accept. What they settle for, you also settle for that. Take the example of getting in shape. If everyone around you, they don't care about getting fit, and they have junk food lying around, they don't do exercises, how long are you going to last? When instead of going to a workout in the morning, they say, hey, let's go party the night before. Let's drink. How long will your motivation last? Maybe a few weeks. But imagine, conversely, you're in a group that they all train. They value health and fitness. They all go to the gym. They say, hey, let's go together. Let's eat cleaner, healthier. How easy for you to make that change with the right proximity, the right peer group. And it's not just about fitness. Think of it in relationship. If your friends or the people close to you, they all blaming, They're all judging. They're all avoiding the difficult conversations. You won't even realize that you're doing the same. However, if you're with a different group of people who takes ownership over their own actions, who stay calm in conflict and stay present with the kids, you start to see what's possible when your standards are lifted by those who are around you. And that's why you can have a breakthrough, feel clear, feel committed, feel charged, ready to take on the world. But then slowly you bring back home to your older self again. The real challenge is you found success, you found agency in life already. And to find other people that wants to go up the Freedom Mountain is a small percentage. It's not that easy to find. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars traveling around the world to find people just like that. And you don't become who you want to be just because you want to. You become who you want to be by surrounding yourself with like-minded people. That's why who you are around, it matters more than what you know. The fourth pillar is integration. Repetition teaches, integration transforms. Most people consume. They read something, they listen to something, they get an idea, and then they move on to the next book, to the next podcast, to the next idea. All of this, it's chasing dopamine. Oh man, I'm learning more. It feels good. It releases dopamine. And I'm sure some of these ideas, it's insightful, it's interesting. But without integration, how beneficial are ideas going to serve you? You can know you need to be more patient. But in the moment, you still react. You can know that you need to take more ownership. But in the moment, you still blame. That's the gap. Knowing is not the same as being. Integration is the bridge between the two. It's going back to the same thing again and again and again until you've mastered it, just like how you're riding a bike. Keep riding it until you become unconsciously competent, until it becomes who you are. That's why in the monastery, they don't just meditate. It's a way of being for them. They live it every day. Now, we're not in a monastery, but the principle is the same. Think about it. How many people read a book, listen to a podcast, take pages and pages of notes and actionable, and from the actionable, they review it consistently to make sure there's a follow through and actual integration? Very few. But yet, we know if we did all that, we will create that lasting change that we want. So if we know that is true, then what is stopping us from doing that? And this leads us to our fifth pillar, commitment. Most people say they want change, but it's a want, it's not a need. It's optional for them. They try, they dabble, and that's why nothing really shifts. They don't take it seriously. They're not fully committed. You've probably gone through the same process. I know I have. You say, I'm going to do it properly this time. You give it a push, you do the first 2 days or the first few reps, and then life gets in the way, challenges comes up, and you miss a day, you miss another one, and eventually you give up. Not because you're incapable, it's because you've never made that commitment. Commitment is not about intensity. It's not about going up the success mountain, let's work harder, let's hustle harder. It's about committing to yourself. It's about no longer negotiating with yourself. Because the moments that you can opt out when things get hard, that's what people tend to do. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone. And when you give in when it's easy, when it's discomfort, you're not going to see growth. It's like training at the gym. If you only show up when you feel like it, you're not going to grow. You only grow by doing the reps that feels uncomfortable. When you feel like you can only do 10, it's the 13th and the 14th. That's going to give you the most growth. And if you look at the 5 pillars, awareness, container, proximity, integration, without commitments, none of the other 4 will work. For example, at True Freedom Leadership, the main transformation vehicle that we have It's called the Freedom Circle, where we embed these 5 pillars of self-mastery into this container. We created this container so that change actually sticks. Again, this is not self-help, this is self-mastery. We brought the right peer group together, men who are committed not just for more success, but having more freedom in their lives. And we're consistently working on daily practices that increases our awareness. And more importantly, it's not just learning more intellectual information, it's integrating these practices into our daily lives. But what holds all of this together is their commitment. The commitment to say that I'm all in. I'm sick and tired of living a life of distraction, unfulfillment. And they say, I'm committed to having this true freedom life. And the men inside this circle, they're not dabbling. They're showing up consistently, not just for a weekend, but every fortnight they show up to work on this practice, to support each other. Think about how important this container, this peer group is. When you have the right people, the right structure, and real commitments, this is how changes last. This is how you transform. Change isn't something that you chase anymore. It becomes who you are. So if you read the books, listen to the podcast, and you are not satisfied with just self-help and more knowledge, you actually want to embody self-mastery, then my invitation to you is to go out and look at these 5 pillars. Having the awareness, building the right container, getting proximity with the right people, the right peer group, consistently integrating and committing to this fully. Now, these 5 pillars, you can go and find it yourself and build it yourself. But if you want a fast track, an easier way, we've built all that already. Come and join us at the Freedom Circle, a container designed for self-mastery with the right people, guided practices. Results and transformation becomes inevitable. This is where we enjoy true freedom. I'll put a link in the description. If you're ready for self-mastery, I'll see you on the other side.